I gotta come back and... Alright, so this video is going to be kind of like a sound pedal type thing.
Oh no. Not prepared.
So the guitar I want to hear is this blonde Telecaster that I first picked up, and it's gorgeous. It's kind of relicked, but it looks good.
Yeah.
And it feels good. But I want to know what it sounds like. So, Guitar Master,
I will do my best to try and impress you.
So yeah, that's that. And wait, you can do your worst or do your best, whichever. And then maybe we could talk about what we're hearing.
Okay.
So, however you do it, whenever you're gonna play and practice or whatever you're doing.
Let me swap stuff out because I was doing a series of videos on these real tubes that I have because these are all preamps.
Okay, well let's go ahead and talk about this. What is your YouTube channel?
Thrashinyorkie.
Okay, go ahead and spell that out because I tried to find you. Couldn't do it.
THRASHIN apostrophe YORKIE.
That's why I was messing up because I put a G on it.
Yeah.
Thrashinyorkie.
Now, I will tell you where that comes from because you did ask me that in your videos.
Yeah, I did.
Back in the 80s, there was this little comic called, I don't know what it was called, who put it out, but it was on a t-shirt. And, so it was called Poodle with a Mohawk. And it says, Fifi's mad as hell. And it showed like this cartoon animation of a poodle with a mohawk with earrings and just jumping and snarling at things.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents raised Yorkies growing up as a kid. Yeah, I know. Not my choice of dog. As we call them, punters.
Yeah.
But I got into the thing of drawing them when I would sketch these little Yorkie type dogs on people's receipts because I worked in a video store. So some of them knew me as this artist, so I would sketch these little things out. And it got to the point where they were coming in for these stupid little cartoons. And somebody goes, you got to name that. So it was like thrash metal was big at the time. So it was the juxtaposition of the two weirdest things all together. Thrash metal, Yorkshire Terrier.
Thrashinyorkie.
The interesting thing is, we had an animal rights activist because it turned into my video production company when I was studying film and video in school. And a friend of mine who later on hooked up with me on some stuff said he had an animal rights activist group come after us thinking that we were saying Thrashinyorkie by thrashing them and beating them. And it was like, no! Because the symbol is, and of all things, it's a lefty. It's a left-handed, he's playing a left-handed double neck guitar on top of a Wallace stack of Marshalls.
Okay.
And that was our logo for the thing, so you would see that. And it was set at Thrashinyorkie Productions, and that's where it came from. So you'll see my hats or something like that. Yeah.
All right.
But that's where I came from. So when you tell them that story, they're like, oh, really? Well, I had to go with Thrashinyorkie because Bully the Kid was already taken.
Yeah, man. It's freaking taken, brother. I wasn't even bully yet.
I didn't think you were a kid. I didn't think you were... No, you weren't even a gleam. You were up there. And God was going, you see that guy?
No. Don't take that name.
Nah, don't take it.
You, Kobe Gray. Just picking them out like Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
With young children.
You. Oh, no.
I probably shouldn't say that. Whatever. Yeah. I like you.
I prefer the Bill Clinton way. I did not have sex with or that woman.
I'm gonna have to edit all this out.
Hey, baby. Mr. President, that's your wife. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Notice whenever he pointed, all fingers went out. He didn't have the try.
Yeah, that was no. It was never.
None of this pointing back at me. It's all about you, baby. Yeah.
All
about you.
All right.
Yeah. It's Bob Dole holding the pen that kind of got a lot of us worried.
Let's move on. All right. So let's. I'm gonna have to edit all this out. This is my personal. Funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's mounted to the body. There's 3 screws holding the bridge on. There, it looks like maybe it's glued. The wood is possibly glued to the bridge itself.
Yep.
and it's a 3-way, kind of like the Epiphone.
Yeah.
So you can screw this down and it'll change the pitch of how the bridge is set up.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Lipstick pickups.
Yep. And
Stack. So is it like volume and tone for each pickup?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Look at me sounding like I know about guitars and crap. I don't freaking play that junk.
Well, you're holding the right example for John. No,
but yeah, man, this is completely light.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't play this.
It's
out. But this is a definite. If you had to play a gig,
yeah,
and it's taking forever,
yeah.
This is light.
But open G tuning and a slide just sounds fantastic on that. If you play it like a regular guitar, to me, my ears, it's like, no, I got plenty of other stuff to mess around with if I want that sound. But for slide, I mean, I play slide on other stuff. I try to get that sound out of it, and Telecaster comes close, but that's where the money and the magic is, you know.
Okay.
For me,
so I feel like this is probably like on me grabbing a guitar, like seeing what you have and being like, that's probably like 3 or 4 from the collection that you've shown so far.
Right. Yeah. And I'm the kind of guy that friends come to now when they're starting out and playing guitar, or they want to buy a guitar. They call me. How can I find one? And sometimes I'll find them one so good it's like, damn, I wish I would have found that for me. Yeah.
So right now, that has blown me away.
The Telecaster.
Yeah. Like I don't really mess with Fenders like talking about, but just feeling it, playing it, like that initial strum, I was like, the neck, it just feels.
Yeah, because I can pull the American one. You can do an A and B to that, and it's like the American one just, it feels like, I don't know, it's kind of like the girl next door versus that girl that lives on the hill kind of thing. It's like, okay, I got to do a little extra for this. But
this is a solid female.
Yeah. If you have to use some sort of gender analysis for it, back to your prepubescent era.
No, we're not going to talk about that. Just going to leave that alone. But,
we'll just change it to a code word.
That's an inside joke. We're not going to talk about it.
And it'll stay.
It'll stay inside.
Yeah.
For the safety of our families.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So, what are we doing here? This is Epiphone?
This was kind of something out of left field. This is like I don't know how well they can see the color on it, but it's almost like a pumpkin or a squash yellow. And it's really pretty. And I never owned anything with P90 pickups, and I always wanted to try P90 pickups because everybody talked about them. But to me, I was so used to humbuckers that aesthetically it didn't look right to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so aesthetics were a big thing with me for a long time, as far as it's got to look good before I can even play with it.
Which is why I can't get past the freaking Music Man, because I like that look. Music Man, Rickenbacker. Those. That's literally why they're my grill bases, because of the look. And Paul McCartney, freaking Flea. That's it.
Yeah. and it all starts off back to the primal thing of it. And when I would help friends find guitars or something like that, it's like, well, who do you like? What do they play? And what do you like about it? So it's often, first it's like you see with your eye, or you hear with your eyes first. Yeah. So there's this color, there's this shape, there's this headstock. Oh, yeah, off we go. But yeah, so this one is actually, this one is kind of a fun one to find because it's made in Korea. And that's what kind of upped the ante on it. So you have the made in America stuff, you have the made in Japan stuff. Those are two of your high end ones. Made in Mexico, I think, can compete with the made in America stuff, in my opinion. Then you want to go with, so if you go over to the east side.
Go for it. I need to pick. You're educating.
So
I'm playing.
So it basically runs Japan, Korea, and then you have Indonesian, and then or even your Chinese, which it used to be Indonesian and then it's Chinese. So there's picks on the floor.
Jeez, oh God, I'm a bassist, man. We use our fingers.
My daughter has decided
credit
to.
Card?
A
credit card.
Yeah, I use that stamper. I got a whole bucket of those. So when you overspend and buy a lot of toys, you can make picks out of the card when you close it. That's the credit card that keeps on living. So when I saw that this was made in Korea, I knew that it was a step or two above what the Chinese ones were going for. You pay a little bit more for that. But it just sounded really good. I plugged it in, and the P90s sang out in a certain way. And P90s just have that tone that a single coil doesn't have and a humbucker doesn't have. It's a little bit fatter and fuller than a single coil, but it's not as fat and Tony as a humbucker.
It feels good.
Yeah, and it's got a nice feel to it. Plus, too, it's kind of got that early Les Paul Jr. feel to it, you know. So
yeah, it does feel
so you got
smaller.
everything from like early rockers to your punk rockers like Johnny Thunders and stuff like that, who played similar kind of stuff, only the Gibson logo on them. But I mean, you know, you're talking $1,200 to $1,500 for a Gibson version of that, and it's like, well, you know,
or
subtract the one in front of all of that.
Yeah.
Or you can have this and have some money left over.
Let's you can spend it on amps and pedals and such.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this one because yeah, this is a brick. Yeah. let's talk about
this one. I got online because I couldn't find one in town at all. So I got into, for some reason, I got into resonators. I don't know what it was. I remember Fender came out with theirs. They had the wood version of this, which is sitting over there.
Oh, let's go grab it. Why not? Now, what made it different?
Okay, that's
between the two.
The acoustic one right next to it.
Oh crap!
So I actually have 4 resonators. So
Jesus Christ, why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I can't.
I mean, yeah.
You're asking this? You're how many bases you got?
Listen now. Okay, I have a suitable amount of bases, and you have 50 guitars. Your addiction is far worse than mine.
But it's not like you're 50 of the same thing, though, right? It's not like I have if you had 50 jazz basses.
Yeah, that'd be stupid.
Right?
That'd be dumb.
But if you have, I mean, you're a P bass player actually. So if you have 50 P basses, you'd
still be dumb.
Yeah. So
unless I have to coordinate my clothes with my. That's another video.
That's right. Accessorizing.
Listen,
the straps match.
Listen, you gotta look the part if you're gonna do it, baby.
So I bought that one because these came out I think in the early 2000s, and I always wanted one. It was like, there's no pickup, just acoustic. So these are all acoustic. The only one with a pickup is the other one. So these should all be tuned to open G. So you could actually play with one finger if you wanted to. Pretty damn close. So I bought this one. I played 6 of them in town. They came in 2 different colors. They came in this honey burst color, and then they came in a black, all black. And it didn't bother me. I was just, I almost did like a blindfold test. Give me the one that sounds the best. I found this one, and it played the best out of all of them, and I kept it just as a backup because it's one of those things too. It's like, you know, you're chasing tone. When you have more than, if you have more than one guitar, you're chasing tone. If you have more than one stomp box, you're chasing tone. I mean, unless you say, I only need these 2 and you never change for the rest of your life, then you can come back to me and say, I found my tone.
Even when you find it, you still experiment.
Because then you'll be happy with it. Yeah. You can only eat Ritz crackers for so long, and then you go, I want a saltine.
You know what? I want chicken and a biscuit. I heard so many good things about chicken and a biscuit.
Yeah. That's like chicken and biscuit's good, but what about chicken and a waffle? You know, hey. So it was more so a tune. It was more so just like a tone thing. I have acoustic guitars. I have acoustic guitars with pickups in them. I have 12-string acoustic guitar. 12-string acoustic guitar sings differently than a 6-string. A resonator sings differently than an acoustic. It's got that sound.
Yeah, there's more of a tinny.
Yeah, because that's an aluminum cone that's inside there, so it's vibrating against that. It's louder than a regular acoustic guitar. So there you go. Yeah. And then that led to, well, I want a steel body one because I see a lot of my favorite players play a steel body one. What makes a steel body one more than a wooden body?
Let's talk about this. You said this is in G tuning?
Open G tuning, yes.
Okay,
That's a D. That's actually a D. So your G tuning would be the bottom 5 strings, actually. Yeah. Now, a lot of guys who go with open G tuning will often get rid of the bass string because that tunes to a D. And then, so like your Rolling Stones, your Keith Richards, when they do open G tuning, it's really just, if you really look closely at the guitar, he's only got 5 strings on that guitar. But if you want to play with all 6 strings on there, because I want to stay within if I pick up something with 6 strings, I want to be able to stay within the 6-string realm. That's my kind of thought on it. It's just, so that becomes a bass D string, but it gets added to it. So.
I didn't even know this was a thing. I play bass. Mm-hmm. I have E, A, D, G. Mm-hmm. Sometimes B. Most of the time.
Sometimes Y&W.
Okay. So, this is the wooden version.
This is a wooden version, so this is the all-steel body. There's another wooden version I have of this. It has a cutout and a pickup in it. So it's got a cutaway, so they get a cutaway on it so I can get it higher in there. It's got a pickup in it similar to the Telecaster in there. And it also has a piezo pickup in it, so there's 3 dials on it. So one's a tone and there's 2 volumes. So I can blend those 2 electronics if I want to.
Okay. What style of music does this lend it to?
This I wound up using a lot with a girl who was singing, and there's actually a YouTube video of it where I'm playing it, but kind of folky. Folk music. It gets into blues.
Okay.
Alright, it gets into, you can have your country into it a lot, because a lot of people will see them and they'll be the square back version or the Hawaiian guitars, because it's got that same kind of sound to it. Early big band jazz when the guitar players were in the band kind of thing. But for me, it was just I wanted something different. What if you have a box of crayons. A box of 8 is cool, but a box of 64 is so much better.
That's very true. That's very true.
So I was just kind of like going, all right, you might not play with the. I gotta clean that bad boy up.
So this is a steel resonator.
Yeah.
Wooden neck.
Wooden neck.
To the body.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this tuned to?
Open G.
It does sound different than a regular acoustic.
Mm-hmm. It also has a different pickup, or this was what they would define as like a biscuit that this sits on inside here, whereas this one is more of a traditional type of bridge like you would see on an acoustic guitar or saddle that it would sit on kind of thing.
Obviously I don't use a pick, so there's a...
It's alright. We don't judge here. We just play.
That does sound different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's way more mid-rangey than an acoustic guitar.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like recording.
It depends on what kind of mics you put in front of it and what you run it through.
Yeah.
Because none of these
has no pickup.
No pickup, so you'd have to mic it like crazy. And I got a few mics on there, and I'd probably aim one by the cone and one up towards the neck here, like they do with acoustics. They don't have pickups in them when they mic acoustics. Do that, and then that way just to kind of find that happy warm tone.
This is crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so grab the steel one. Grab the wood one, wood number 1. Now, what's going on with this one?
That's another steel body, but that one's made by Gretsch. I'm a fan. I prefer the 14 fret as opposed to the 12 fret, because you have these that they'll make these like acoustics, or some it just defines what fret stops at the body. So I like the longer necks.
Okay.
So 12, and it's a difference in the tension in the strings. I know you can go on YouTube and you find everybody and their brother who can tell you about what's the differences between those two, but I try to stay within the same thing. So if I'm going to switch from this one to that one to this one, if they're all 14 fret necks, then I don't have to worry about scale lengths or this, because really what you're doing is you're really playing on top of the strings more than anything else. But that too is a steel body, but instead of being all fancy schmancy chrome, it's got more of that greenish gray tint to it. And
it's steel, but it's painted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a little bit more subdued.
Yeah, but they make up for it with the real flashy headstock. Actually, no, that's not a Gretsch, that's a Regal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Regal.
Regal, yep. That was pretty affordable too, so it was just kind of like all right. And sometimes that's the route I'll go. If I like something a lot, or if I'm interested in a certain brand or something, I'll try and find the affordable version of it and play with it, because you can find out too, is it comfortable? Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? Does it sit where it's supposed to? And then you move up to the higher up one, and then you're like, okay, now I have a love for this as I work up, as opposed to, I bought the top brand one and that sucked, but if I bought this one.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than like picking and choosing a cheapie over a real expensive.
Oh yeah.
No, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever get what you pay for it.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, sometimes the resale value on some of this stuff is, you know, if you can get closer to the money you spent on it as opposed to, oh, well, now it just depreciated in value by a lot of money. It's like, oh, I'm not even going to see, you know, a third of it or something like that because it might have dropped out of popularity or something like that, you know, so. But that's what you deal with when you buy, sell, and trade.
This whole thing is crazy. Like, I done picked up 4 guitars, and that's not even a dent in your collection. Like
yeah, we're probably close to 10%. Yeah. Maybe.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even gotten to the boutique stuff.
No, not yet.
That might end up being a whole nother video. So that's going to be a whole nother video.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just doing the stuff that you have out
right now, yeah. And
so what's going on with that one?
That's Jasper's. That's my son.
That's your kid's guitar?
Yeah. That's how you started? When you shop a lot at a guitar shop, and they like you, and they find out you got children, they're going to sell to your children too. Look at it this way. It's like suckers secretly tattooed on your forehead. But no, that's my son's. But actually, I got that to work. I think I got it for $50. I mean, these were like those entry-level guitars. Okay, I got more money in just the bridge because I swapped out the whole dang guitar. I got more money in the tuning pegs than the whole doggone guitar cost. I could have bought 3 of them for what I put in with just the hardware alone, so it could play. But
because that's love.
Yeah, that's love. What it is. And I want him to have. If he plays with something, I want it to work for him because as opposed to be like a toy. And that is really a true guitar. It's just a mini guitar. The thing is, it took me forever to figure out what to tune it to stay in tune and to sound good. And it tunes to an A. So instead of an E, A, D, G, B, E, your top note. It's like you're playing in the 5th fret. It's like put a cable on the 5th fret of your guitar. That's what it's tuned to then. So it's interesting. Yeah. So when I tuned it to an A standard,
is it still the same gauge strength?
Oh yeah.
You just had it tuned to an A.
Tuned to an A, and it stays in tune, and it intonates really nicely as far as like it stays within the intonation of it. But if I try to go do like an E on it, like a standard tuning, it's all flopping all over the place, or it just sounds terrible. Or yeah, but that's just it. But he likes the crunch. So if I turn it on, I gotta put a stomp box into it, like a distortion, because he likes the way it sounds.
He's gonna be a metal guy.
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, worse things have happened to guitar parents.
There's that. But I mean, it's like he's young enough to be a metal guy. All right. You're young. You can be a metal guy. You know, it's like there's a song that says, you know, "Mama let him play. He's too young for the blues." You know, he can't understand jazz yet, so just let him play. Let him make some noise. That's all he's gonna do with it anyways. And then when he's like, 14, 15, 16, and starts playing with it some more, and goes, I'll turn that distortion down and I'll clean it up.
Maybe.
Better grade of women.
You live and you learn. Some lessons you can't tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I'm surprised you didn't gravitate to that blue one.
Yeah, I did. That's what I was about to grab.
That's one of 2. Yeah, I got another one that's kind of very similar to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I prefer.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's zoom into my fingers underneath the guitar, like through the guitar. Let's talk about this. What the hell is going on here? Let's talk about that.
In the 90s, when I was making minimum wage and couldn't afford these, so Alvarez guitars, the one that are known for the salad bowl guitars, acoustics, came out with. Decided to try and keep up with the 80s hair metal kind of bands, so they created this scoop. That's what they call it. So they scooped out this whole body. They made a Telecaster version and a Stratocaster version. I think there's even a bass version of this thing floating around out there, which I don't know how that tension kind of goes into this. But I'm a fan of heavy guitars. I like 8, 9, 10, or 9, 10, 11 pound guitars. They just feel good. They resonate good. But this one is like balsa wood compared to them. Okay, so. It's got the Floyd Rose on it. It's got some heavy duty electronics inside there, and so it kind of spooks the pickups a little bit more to be a little bit more grungy and shouldn't say grungy, more metally, and it does resonate well. You know, even though this material is missing, you would think it wasn't going to work, but no, it sounds good. And they ran for about a year or 2. I think the famous person that played them was Lita Ford, was one of their people who was trying to hawk them for a while, but I just like the two because of the color of the chrome is like a smoke chrome tuning pegs, and that matches the bridge. But yeah, I always wanted one, and I walked into a shop, a guy had one, and I found out that when I picked that up, another guy came in right behind me wanting it. I was like,
so you got to buy it first.
You got to buy it first.
You got to have it.
It's one of those. I don't know if I define it as a holy grail, but it was definitely a want. You know.
All right, so let's talk about this. So my hands through the body, you can see my shirt through the guitar. Okay. All right. Got the Seymour Duncans here. Don't know what this is. The Seymour Duncans.
I have no idea what the hell that is. Yep. I took it apart several times, and I have no idea what it is. I have something I'd like to put into it, but
later video. Cool thing about this is it has the locking tuners here with the adjustable bass here. So when you lock it up here, you can do your minor adjustments and tuning. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
Because my bass, my guitars, you can't do that.
Right.
So, yeah, there's the minor adjustment little screws here, so you can bring it up, bring it down. I am very interested in the fact that it's a bolt-on locking tuner. That idea itself is cool. I didn't know if that's a thing.
It was a thing for a while, but I'm not a fan of it because to me that's where a lot of them fail is they break. That's a weak point.
Is it?
Like a stress thing, yeah.
Like it's going through the body, so it like through the neck? And then it chips.
Yeah, see, well then plus two, it's like it depends on how they make the neck. Like Gibson, this would be all one solid piece of wood.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have this dovetail in there.
Okay.
Whereas this is a cost-effective way of saying, okay, we want to put a scope neck on there. We can do two pieces. We can do one long piece of wood and make a bunch of pieces, as opposed to here's a big thick piece of wood we got to make that neck out of.
Okay.
But no, when you start putting holes and stuff, you create a weak spot, so that if that topples over, it's more than likely going to snap at that point.
Okay.
So, but again, these are notorious for breaking here or breaking here.
Yeah.
And that's where
this isn't a gigging guitar. This is a show guitar.
Well, you would kind of have it as a show guitar. I mean, you could go out and gig with it, but you make sure nobody's standing near it, or you put it back in the case when you take it out of the case to play it. You know. Because yeah, this one I could already tell has a stress crack in it, and I'm not too. But I bought it that way, and that's what kind of got me dealing the price. The other one I got is clean, but I find them on eBay, and the first thing I look at when I see them on there is just I look where the neck pocket is and say, how has it been repaired, or is it some color that's never been available? And so that tells me it might have been repaired and repainted. Yeah, that one might fall out of tune category.
I mean, I play bass, so the fact that I can move my fingers to do this is really
well. Those strings got to play like little rubber bands to you, anyways. Though, with some of the well, that's right. You run with what 94 or 90? What were you running on your?
Usually it goes, if it's a 4-string, I usually go 100 to 45.
Okay.
But recently I've been going 100 to 40. If it's 5-string, I usually go 125 to 45.
Okay.
So like medium gauge.
Okay. Yeah.
But even still, my bending, I'm a string bender.
Yeah.
Like the last string bender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, man. I do want, and it'll probably be another video, I do want to hear you play this Telecaster through your twin reverb, whichever one you want to use. If you want to,
I split them in stereo. I got a series of preamps here.
Oh man, wait, let's